MIWAY Teaching Aids Private Limited.
Social Science, Grade 5, Unit 1. The Revolt of 1857. The Revolt of 1857. The Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey took place in 1757. It was fought between Siraj-ud-Daulah, the Nawab of Bengal, and the East India Company forces headed by Robert Clive. Reasons for the Battle of Plassey. The Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Daulah, did not like the controlled use of privileges by the East India Company's officials. The workers of the company stopped paying the taxes. Effects of the Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey resulted in the end of the French forces. Mir Jafar was crowned as the Nawab of Bengal. The Battle of Buxar. The Battle of Buxar took place in 1764. It was fought between the combined army of the Nawabs of Bengal and Oudh, now Awadh, and the Mughal Emperor and the East India Company. Nawab of Bengal. The Mughal Emperor. Reasons for the Battle of Buxar. The Battle of Plassey led to the Battle of Buxar. Misuse of trade privileges by the British. Appointment of Mir Jafar as the Nawab of Bengal. Effects of the Battle of Buxar. The East India Company won the battle and was established as the ruler. This resulted in the British gaining foothold in Bengal. The British realized that there were many big and small kingdoms in the country which fought against each other. They took advantage of this situation and applied the policy of divide and rule. This policy helped them to capture a number of kingdoms. Advantages of the British rule. The British introduced a formal system of schooling in India. With the help of social reformers, the British passed many laws to end social evils such as sati, child marriage, and remarriage of widows. The first railway system was introduced in India by the British. The first train ran between Bombay to Thane in 1853. The British also introduced the telegraph and postal system in the country. Disadvantages of the British rule. The farmers of India were forced to grow cash crops like indigo and cotton. They had to sell them at low cost to the British traders. They had to pay heavy taxes. So they became poor. The British introduced many unjust laws which were against the interest of the Indian kings. They introduced a law called the Doctrine of Lapse. According to this law, if a ruler died without any natural heir, his territory would automatically come under the control of the British. By applying this policy, many states such as Jhansi passed into the hands of the British. Revolt of 1857. The discontent among the Indian rulers, farmers, and weavers spread to the Indian soldiers. Indian soldiers were paid much less as compared to the British soldiers. They were also given higher posts, which were only reserved for the British. Immediate cause. The immediate cause was the introduction of the Enfield rifle. In 1857, the British introduced a new gun for the soldiers. The cartridges of these guns were greased with animal fat. These cartridges had to be bitten off before loading. This hurt the religious sentiments of both Hindu and Muslim soldiers. It resulted in a lot of anger and frustration among them. The Revolt of 1857 was known as the First War of Independence because it was the first time that our entire nation revolted against the British. The Indian soldiers refused to use these bullets. The first incident of violence took place in the Bengal Regiment at Barrackpore, on 29th of March 1857 at Barrackpore Parade Ground. Mangal Pandey, an Indian soldier of the Bengal Regiment, refused to bite the greased cartridge. He fired at the English officer and asked his fellow soldiers to revolt against the British. He was arrested and executed. This news spread like wildfire to other parts of India. Leaders of the revolt. There were many leaders involved in the revolt. Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, Bahadur Shah II, and Mangal Pandey were very important leaders. The revolt started at Meerut. The soldiers refused to use the cartridges, released prisoners from jail and attacked many British officers. The revolt spread to other parts of India. It started in Lucknow under the leadership of Begum Hazrat Mahal of Awadh. Nana Sahib was the leader of this revolt at Kanpur. He rebelled against the British along with his brave associates and General Tanshia Tope. Rani Lakshmi Bai led the battle in Jhansi. She formed a strong defense force in which women were given military training. Rani Lakshmi Bai, Mangal Pandey, Bahadur Shah II, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Nana Sahib. Failure of the revolt. The British were able to suppress the revolt because it was not widespread. There was a lack of effective leadership. Some of the Indian kings helped the British rather than their own people. The British had superior weapons and a large army of soldiers. Outcome of the revolt. The revolt proved to be a milestone for the Indian freedom struggle because it ended the rule of the British East India Company. The British crushed the revolt with an iron hand. The most important effect of the 1857 revolt was the administration of India was transferred from the East India Company to the British Crown. The British government appointed a Governor-General to rule the country. He was called the Viceroy. The first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning. The revolt marked a turning point in the history of India. The revolt was considered to be an awakening and the first effort towards freedom and independence.
Thank you for watching this video.